guys, what's going on? I think we got a dump truck going by. We'll wait for that to go by real quick. All right, guys, what's going on? It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Woo. Glad to have you guys out here. Today for our bonus feature, we're going to be talking about kettlebell snatches. I'm going to kind of do a little overview while people are still getting on, give them a chance to get on. Cool. A couple of things you will need to get started. First one, it's going to be a broomstick or a PVC pipe. If you have a PVC pipe, just something long that you can hold. Cool. Then you're also obviously going to need your kettlebell. Grab a kettlebell that's a little bit lighter. If you have various kettlebells, grab one that's a little bit lighter so you can really focus on your technique. You don't have to worry about muscling through any of the movements just to try and get it done. Cool? Because we want to focus on our technique for this. All right. We're just going to do a couple quick things to warm up with our PVC pipe. First thing we're going to do is throw that PVC pipe on our back, and we're going to hit a couple good mornings. Just nice and easy on the way down. Maybe slight bend in the knees if you have to. Then up nice and tall. Squeeze your glutes. Again. We're going to knock out 10 reps. Nice and easy. That's 3 for me. Nice and easy. Try and keep that back as flat as possible. Stand up. Squeeze your butt. I think that was 5. I'm not really sure. Nice and easy, guys. Don't rush through these movements. That was 8 for me. 9, last one. And 10. We're going to have a lot of motion and momentum going through our hips, so we're going to do a couple hip rotations. If you need to hold on to something, you can hold on to your PVC pipe or grab a wall if you're in your living room. That's perfectly fine. Cool? So we're just going to go up and then out and then back down. Up and out. Up and out. Up and out, just warming up those hips. They're about to do a lot of work. Cool. Oh, we're going to do 10 on each leg. Sorry, didn't give you a rep count. That's 6 on both for me. 7 on both for me. 8 on both for me. 9 and 10. Looking good, guys. Looking good. All right. So with your kettlebell, we're going to go ahead and knock out 10 kettlebell deadlifts. Starting to warm out the hamstrings and the glutes a little bit. Try and prepare them a little bit for what they're about to go through. Cool. So you're going to lean over, deep bend. Make sure your back is nice and tight. Stand up. Squeeze your glutes. Back down. I want you guys to go slower on the way down than you do on the way up. So nice and easy. Up fast, squeeze your glutes. Up fast, squeeze your glutes. 5 more. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And relax. Whew. All right, so your glutes and hamstrings should be pretty warm now. Now we're going to go over some technique. We're going to start, so a few things that we already went over with on our kettlebell clean. We're going to do a quick review of those things, and then we're going to add some new things in to finish off the movement over our head instead of catching in the front rack position. Cool? All right, guys. So first thing we're going to review is the single arm kettlebell swing. And remember, when we're doing our single arm kettlebell swings and we're going into another motion, we want to make sure that we are rotating our hand. So we're going to do 5 reps on each arm, and we're going to practice rotating our arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our kettlebell here, and I'm going to stick my thumb out so you can see how my hand is oriented. Can you guys see the difference in my thumb? So when I grab my kettlebell, I have a neutral grip here. So my thumb is straight out to the side. And then when I go back, I'm going to turn my thumb here as I go back. So thumb should be pointing back towards your But then when you come through, you're going to drive with your hips. And if you can see again, I turn my hand again as my hips come through, and now my thumb is out to the side. So that is going to be a hand rotation. You're going to rotate back, hips through, hand neutral. Rotate back, up to neutral. Cool? Your opposite hand does not touch your body anywhere else. It's just going to be free. I like to have my hand out to the side. That way I can kind of use it to give me a little bit more momentum. You don't have to do that, but as long as you're not touching your body. All right, cool. So we're going to do 5 reps on each hand, and we're going to practice twisting our arm from pointing down here in this position to back neutral. Cool. 5 reps each side. Ready? And go. 4, 5, other side. Really focus on that rotation with your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Hopefully you're starting to feel out that technique a little bit, because that will assist you in making sure that kettlebell doesn't swing over the top of your arm and crash into your forearm. The kettlebell is going to have a little rotation as it's going up, and that's going to allow it to swing around and slide through your hand as you punch through. If that kettlebell isn't swinging in a rotational manner, then it's going to go up and over and then crash on your forearm, and you have a huge bruise on your forearm. Cool? All right, guys. We're going to talk about something. I probably should have said this before we did the swings, but we're going to talk about the hinge real quick. This is something that we didn't talk about with the kettlebell clean, and I kind of wanted to make more emphasis on it for this. So go ahead and grab your PVC pipe or your broomstick, whatever you have. Cool? And this is just a 3-point test for your hinge. So what you're going to do is long ways, you're going to put the PVC pipe against your spine. So one hand here where the base of your neck is, the other hand here where your lower back is. Cool? And you're going to lightly, with your fingertips, lightly hold that against your body. So I don't want you to push the PVC pipe against your body to where it's like it's bending around your spine. Just lightly hold it against your body. From here, your head, your shoulders, and your hips should be contacting the PVC pipe the whole time. That's why it's called a 3-point hinge, because those 3 points should stay in contact with the PVC pipe the entire time. Cool? You're going to start to slowly lean over, making sure all 3 points stay in contact the whole time. For this drill to work, you have to go as slow as possible. If you go max effort speed, you don't know at what point your hips or your head or your shoulders are coming off of that PVC pipe or broomstick, whatever you have. Cool? So you have to go nice and slow to make sure you stay in contact with it the whole time. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get into this position. We're going to go ahead and get 5 reps with a 10-second count. So with 5 seconds on the way down, 5 seconds on the way up, making sure we stay in contact with that broomstick, PVC pipe, whatever you have, the entire time. Cool? We're going to do 5 reps, 5 seconds down, 5 seconds up. Ready? Go ahead and stand up nice and tall. Get your 3 points of contact. Lightly hold that PVC pipe to your body. And down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you're still in contact. And up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. That was 1. We got 4 more. Ready? Down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more. Down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more, guys. Down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more, guys. Down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, guys. So if that felt different than the position that you normally get into for your kettlebell swings, then you probably don't have a very efficient swing, and you're probably compensating with other muscle groups. So if you're a person that is doing kettlebell swings, kettlebell cleans, or kettlebell snatches, and you have jarring lower back pain afterwards, then you're probably not keeping your back aligned and keeping your spine aligned as you're doing that. You might be rounding out your back as you're coming back through, or what you're doing at the top is you're overextending here rather than keeping your glutes squeezed here, keeping your spine aligned, and finishing the motion here. So one of those two things is probably happening if you do have lower back pains, and that's why we do that 3-point hip hinge drill, is to make sure that our spine stays aligned all the way down and all the way up. Cool. At the top is just as important as at the bottom. Like I said, probably should have went over that first, but I forgot. So we're going to get back into the kettlebell snatch. For your kettlebell snatch, it's really important to make sure we are driving with our hips and we're not yanking that thing straight up with our shoulders and our traps. So you can do an upright row here, but that thing flips over your hand and crashes into your forearm, and it hurts really bad. That's why I hate demoing it. But I'm going to show you guys a little bit more efficient way to do that, to not only utilize all the energy that you're putting into the kettlebell so that you're not wasting energy, but also to stop that big bruise from happening on your wrist. Cool. So we already went through the single arm swing where we're rotating our thumb. We want to make sure our thumb is rotating back on the downswing and then rotating to a neutral position on the upswing. Cool. So on the downswing, thumb back, thumb to the bum. On the upswing, thumb neutral. Cool. From there, we need to always make sure our elbow, when we're pulling, that our elbow stays higher than our wrist and the kettlebell. Cool. So if you swing out here and you start to pull and your wrist is higher than your elbow, that's also going to cause that kettlebell to flip over and crash on your forearm. So we're going to do 5 reps on each hand, and we're going to do a swing. So we're going to grab the kettlebell, thumb to the bum, big drive with the hips. Once we get here to this position, we're immediately going to drive our elbow up. Cool. We're going to drive our elbow up here into this high pull position. Cool. It's going to feel weird when we put it all together because your elbow doesn't get quite as high when you're doing the actual movement. But right now we're going to exaggerate it so that you can feel your elbow actually driving up. Cool. So just keep that in mind when we go to the full movement. You're not going to be yanking all the way up here to get that kettlebell up. Cool. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and then we're going to do 5 reps on each side. Ready? And I'm making sure that elbow stays higher than my wrist the whole time. So I'm coming up here in this position, elbow is higher than my wrist, and then I'm back out, thumb to the bum, big drive, and back out. Cool. So we're going to do 5 reps on each side. I'm going to start with my right arm, then I'll switch to my left. Cool. All right, guys, we ready? Let's go. 5 reps each side. Hips and then pull. Hips, then pull. That's 3, 4, 5. Other side. And this is not my strong side, so you might see some technique flaws. That's okay. If you can spot them, that means you're learning and I'm doing my job right. There we go. Takes a couple reps. And 5. Nice. So hopefully your left arm felt better than mine. I always demo with my right arm, so I should probably start demoing with my left so my technique stays even. But again, just to reinforce what we talked about, we want to make sure that our elbow is staying higher than our wrist, because when your wrist goes higher than your elbow, that kettlebell flips instead of finishing the rotation and punching all the way through. Cool. All right, guys. Next, what we have is we want to make sure the kettlebell is sliding through our hands. So when you're gripping the kettlebell, you're not gripping it as hard as you possibly can. So I'm going to show you what that looks like if you grip the kettlebell as hard as you can. What happens is the kettlebell doesn't slide through your hand. So once you drive and you pull, the kettlebell stops here and doesn't continue to slide through your hand. So it stops here, and then once you get here, you're finished with the movement. You're not moving anymore, but the kettlebell still has to come down. So it comes down and bam, slams on your wrist. And like I've already said, it really hurts, especially the next day when you have that big bruise. So I'll show you what that looks like. And then I'll show you how to not do that. So here, comes to the bum, and then it comes over at the top. So we want to make sure we are not squeezing the kettlebell and it's not flipping over like so. Cool. So the way we do that is you can open your palm, and this is why you want to practice with a lighter kettlebell, something that you can control. But you can actually open your palm at the top or as you're transitioning to the top so that the kettlebell slides through your hand. If you're using a really heavy kettlebell, that is scary. That's why we want to practice with lighter weights. That way we don't have to worry about that kettlebell dropping on our heads because we know regardless we're going to catch it. Cool. I'll show you what a couple of reps look like from the side as well as from the front, and then we're going to do a couple reps together. Cool. So from the side first, I'll show you 4 reps, 2 on my right, 2 on my left. So open the palm. That way that rotation can finish and the kettlebell slides through your hand. When you're coming back down, guys, we'll go over this in a little bit more detail, but I'll just kind of briefly go over it. You want to break by squeezing your glutes in your belly and then slowly leaning back. So all of my weight is in my heels. The kettlebell is actually in front of my shoulders. And then I go into my hinge. Hinge, back up. Cool. We have a slight break at the top here, but I'm not losing tension in my abs. Other side, this is not so good one. Oh. So that's a slow turnover, and even though the kettlebell isn't crashing on my arm, I had to pull the kettlebell back up over my head. Cool. So break again. That one was a little bit better. Cool. From the front. All the way up. So you can also bring that kettlebell down and then break. So slight lean back, throw the kettlebell out front. Get a little bit more momentum that way, especially if you're already tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. Cool. All right, guys. So we're going to do 5 reps on each side. We really want to make sure we are carrying that momentum around. So guys, we want you guys to think about driving with the hips first before you start pulling. So you don't want to pull and then finish with your hips. You want to finish with those hips and then pull. We want to think about the rotation of our hand. So thumb to the bum, thumb to neutral, then pull. Cool. And then we want to think about that kettlebell sliding through our hands as we're transitioning to the top. So we're going to go from here, elbow high, and then slide through our hands. If you need to, go ahead and open your palm so that the kettlebell can slide through your hand. Cool. We're going to do 5 reps on each side. I'm going to alternate, but you don't have to. Cool. The reason I'm alternating is so that I have to stop the kettlebell every time, and that way I can focus on my technique instead of just rushing through the movement because I have 10 reps to do. So remember, when those glutes squeeze, we want to keep them squeezed, stay nice and tight, one straight line here. We don't want to be out here catching with that arch in our back. Cool. And I forgot what number I'm on. I'm going to say that's 6. So I'm going to do 2 more on each side. I really got to do a better job of counting my reps. So, again, guys, don't grip that kettlebell too hard, or else it will not slide through your hand. And then that kettlebell will be crashing on you. Last one. And that's it, guys. So hopefully you got some good practice. If you just did all 10 reps and you're like, but Keith, my wrists are still super sore because the kettlebell was still crashing on me. Yes, it probably was still crashing on you. Your technique isn't going to be perfect after 15, 20 minutes of practicing. So, excuse me. So you want to make sure that you do keep practicing, because the better that your technique gets, the less your wrist will hurt. Cool. But for right now, you're still going to have some mishaps. You're still going to have some technique flaws. So that kettlebell still is going to slap you around just a little bit until you get a little bit better. Those are a couple things to think about when you're doing your kettlebell snatches. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them up in the comment section. I'm going to do some announcements real quick, but I got to put my eyeballs back on. All right. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them up in the comment section while I go over the announcements. Cool. Tonight at 6:30, we do have our social hour. We're going to be reviewing the movie Die Hard. So if you haven't seen it, you got a couple hours to go check it out. I believe it's on Amazon Prime. If you don't already own the movie, you can check it out on Amazon Prime. It's not on Netflix. I know I looked there. It might be on Hulu. Not sure. Or it's probably playing on TNT. Who knows? But we're just going to talk and give our ideas and our opinions and our perspectives on that movie tonight. Excuse me. And then we still have the 5 p.m. No Equipment WOD with me again. So if you want to see my beautiful face again, I'll be at the 5 p.m. Cool. I don't see any questions going up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. And remember that drive with the hips, elbow high, finish that rotation, let the kettlebell slide through your hand, and save your wrists. Cool. All right, guys. Till next time, I'm out of here.